Okay, getting a little bit more experience in this thing here a little bit. Trying to trace this stuff out to make sure that we got everything and our ducks are all quacking at the same time. Right here is your 5-volt winding. This lug and that lug. That one there comes down and ties to one of these pins on the filament of the 280 tube. It also ties with a 10 microfarad or the original 5 microfarad, the original 8 microfarad that was in the can over here, which comes over, and it also ties on this lead here that goes out to the field coil. The field coil comes back in around here, and where does it go? Where? Let's see. Oh, it comes up here to this lug right here, where it ties together with the 4 microfarad, or the one that was up here in the top of this can, and then goes to the ground. Now, this line here ties to this cap, which I believe it is an O2. Well, here is the 4 microfarad. There's that one. Here's your 5-volt out of your winding to the filament of the 280 tube, ties together with the positive side of the 8 microfarad canister one, goes through the field coil, comes back and ties to the hot side of the 4 microfarad, which is that one right there on that lug, comes through here and goes to the ground. Comes through here, comes up to there, comes to the, this is the ground right here. That resistor right there is a wire wound. It is supposed to be a 400. It's measuring at 390 ohms, which is ballpark. We're in the game. So the connection from here comes off and comes up here to the audio transformer. Here's where that lug is. Comes over here, comes up here, goes to the audio transformer, and it also ties back up here to pin 4 of the 47 tube, which should be right over in here somewhere. Where are you, little life forms? Okay, there it is, right there. So now this one here is supposed to be this one here, C20, which is a 0.01, and that one there comes up here and ties into the other sides of this coil. These coils here are these things right here. That one there should be a safety cap. It should be a Y-type safety cap. I got some here somewhere. They're the blue kind. They're 0.01 Ys safety caps. So we're going to change that one out and put a safety cap in it. This other one over here, this one right here is that Mylar right there. Now, I've used some Mylars on some of my original, the ones that I did years ago. Well, 5 years ago. 5, 6, more than that. About 6 years ago. And I started buying these instead of the yellows. The reason I was buying these is because when I got started in this, doing these refurbishments, radios, trying to get them fixed, all I wanted to do was see if I could even get one working. Well, they started working out all right, and I didn't have a lot of money. At the time, I didn't even have I didn't have a meter, and I didn't have a sig gen, and I didn't have a freak counter. About all I had was a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, and some solder and a soldering gun. And so I bought the cheapest caps, the less expensive caps, I should say, that I could get my hands on. And at that time, it was the Mylar. I could buy, I don't know, buy them at about 6 at a time for a few bucks. But then I ran across a radio that had issue with these particular types of caps, and I went to these. So I'm going to replace that one and go with a yellow axial 630 volt. These are 400 volts, I think. So that's what we're going to do there. Now, this one right here is supposed to be this one here. You follow this on through, this is the continuation of here. We come over here and we hit this one, C14. That's supposed to be an 01. It should have connected right here and went to ground. I don't know why it's connected back over here on the 5 volt line to the rectifier tube. It should connect to here and go to ground. So we're going to change that and make it according to this. And we're going to put the proper value in it. That's a double. I'm feeling these are going to be whatever they had the most of at the time. We're going to get them back to what they should be on the schematic. So anyway, that's what we're going to do with this now. I've gotten this panel off and managed to get all this and get access back in here to the back side of this, so I can get these resistors checked. These resistors don't seem to be, in accordance with anything on the schematic. These resistors here on this other side are the ones that were factory, and these here are paralleled in on the back side of these. I'm not sure why. We'll see if we can find that out. That is changing some of the values on this in here, and it might be impacting the performance of the radio. So we're going to double check that. I've managed to get in here and break some of this tar loose and get it pried up so that I can start separating these wires out. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do now, as well as we're going to go back and start cleaning this thing up as we progress through this thing and move that way. We're just going to take it one step at a time, and hopefully don't have any calamities befall it before it's all done. So let me get that done, and we will be on to the next segment as soon as I get this stuff sorted out. So stand by. Okay, we got a little further along. We've got pretty much the wires separated out. They're still pretty tacky and sticky, gummy. But look what I found. Buried down in the bottom of that thing. A Spraggy 006. And guess what? I'm thinking it's that one right there, and that's the coupling cap between the detector and audio and first audio, I think it is, to the audio output tube, which in turn comes through and ties back in over here to the 4 microfarad, and that 4 microfarad was mounted up the top here, and I suppose it could have been tar filled like the one underneath, and this thing here may have an issue causing this tube to overconduct, throwing a load on that 4 microfarad, causing it to superheat and dumped all of its goo down in this pocket, because here's the speaker and the controls, and that points up, so that would make this here pointing down, catching all this stuff right here in this pocket. So it just crapped its guts out pretty much and filled this up with goo. Probably because of that thing. They checked and they pulled everything else out, but they didn't get that coupling cap. So I'm thinking that sucker is seen its day, and it was causing an issue on this, as well as maybe there might have been a couple of other little issues in here that I think we're going to get around to also. These wires here we're going to try to get cleaned up as good as possible. We're going to get in here and start checking some of these resistors. This one right here I think is supposed to be 100K, which is that one right there. Initial check on it, without in circuit, it's 5 times over its rating. It's 500K. Well, four times, 4 or 5. Yeah, after 2, who cares? So anyway, that we're going to get in here and check all of these things as soon as we can get all of this here ungooified and cleared up, so that we can get in here and start maneuvering things. So yeah, it looks dangerous, but we don't complain. We fix it, as John from Arkansas used to say. We don't complain about it. We fix it. Okay? We're certainly going to give it a good old super duper try. So stay tuned. We're going to have a whole lot more fun, it looks like.